Aloha everyone, this is Stephanie with the Whispering Dragonfly coming to you with a different style of video of just teaching and sharing with you about the different psychic inputs. So I'm labeling this video Understanding the Clairs, right? And this is our extrasensory perceptions and how those inputs come into the brain, and explaining some of that just to get a little bit more clarity on it. Before I get started, I want to say thank you. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you for hitting that bell button. All those things help my channel to grow and expand. Thank you so much, you guys, for those who have donated, tipped, and for those who have commented. Where two or more gathered, their source energy is with you. So I love that we comment together. That is very, very helpful because it brings us into sharing in our goals and outcomes together. I also want to say that I do offer private readings and one-to-one mentorships. That information is in the description box below, as well as I do a contest every month, free to enter, free to win, for a 30-minute session with me personally. I'll let you know at the end of the video how to enter that drawing, as some are here just for the messages and the information, okay? So understanding the clairs. All right, so we have our extrasensory perception. Means just that. It's we have our sensing faculties in the physical body, right? So we have eyesight, hearing, feeling, taste, touch, smell, okay? These are all inputs that allow us and allow the brain to understand the world around us. Well, we have those internal senses as well that are sensing things that aren't necessarily seen. Okay, now first and foremost, we are all psychic. Surprise, right? We all have a pineal gland. So if you go from the third eye straight back to the center of your brain, there sits the pineal gland, not far from the pituitary gland. The pineal gland is an antenna. It's a pine cone shape. And when it's decalcified and when it's active, it becomes a antenna, a receiver of information. We all have this. It's all part of our brains. And so, for instance, I'll try to put in a picture in this video of the Eye of Horus. Okay, let me just write down 2, 5, 7. The Eye of Horus, as well as the comparison with the pineal gland. So when the brain is split, when you're dissecting it after someone has passed, the pineal gland split laterally looks like the Eye of Horus, almost identical. Okay, so we know that ancient Egyptians and other ancient civilizations had information and knowledge long before this particular group of humans has, right? And so, so that is there. So we've known about the pineal gland for quite some time. We all have that. Now, that being said, as the pineal gland's opening, decalcifying, doing what it needs to do, coming online, you could call that, you start to get different extrasensory perceptions. Now, we all have that. Our extrasensory perceptions are, or psychic inputs, you could call it, or the clairs, okay? We all have that as children, okay? We all are actively using our pineal gland, actively commenting. So some people continue and have that through their lifetime because it was not pushed down. But in society, today it's becoming a little bit more that we're allowing our children to continue in their intuitive faculties. But for the most part, the pineal gland, the intuitive faculties have been suppressed. And so typically by the age of 5 or so, we're kind of out of that particular stage of imagination or intuition because our parents tell us, oh, that's not real. Like if someone sees a ghost, or as a kid, you're talking to grandpa who passed, or you're talking to, other types of beings, they call them imaginary friends, or no, you didn't really see that person. And it's like, so then the child goes, well, I can't, it starts to shut down the pineal gland. As well as there's other things like fluoride diet that do suppress that functioning. But as you start to open that up, you have these extrasensory inputs. So for instance, on TV and things when I was growing up, there were the only real psychics that I ever saw or intuitives were like Madame Cleo and I forget what the other lady's name is. But they were being represented in a really interesting way, almost like hocus pocus, kind of like, woo-woo-ish. And also, the only term I had ever heard was clairvoyant, meaning I was supposed to see something. Clairvoyant means, clear sight, or that extrasensory sight, seeing the unseen. Well, for me, that's not how my inputs come in. So I thought for most of my life that I was not intuitive, that I was not psychic, that I didn't have that, okay? Because I don't really see anything like that. Now, little background, if you guys know anything about numerology, I'm a life path number 7. So I am here as the psychic, the intuitive, the seer, the truth seer. But I thought that I didn't have that because of the misrepresentation of the energy and the information. So let's just go over the different clairs. So we have clairvoyance, which is clear sight, clear seeing. So what that happens is this comes in as pictures or impressions. So some people who are primarily clairvoyant, the psychic information comes in as like an imprint for some. It comes in as pictures. These can be full color. It comes in sometimes as seeing like a movie. So seeing a scene, like if you're doing a remote viewing or something of that sort, you'll see the scene as if it's happening now. And for others, like I do have friends who are highly clairvoyant. And so they will see a person who's deceased or a spirit as if they're standing there in their human form. Okay, I don't have that one, right? I once in a while I'll get little flashes or impressions. So yes, I do visualize inside my head. It's not my primary one. So this clairvoyance may be your primary system. Okay, so you will see pictures. And this could be in that variety, like I said. Now, next we have clairaudience, which is clear hearing. So this is my primary channel inside, one of them. So this is an auditory process. So you may hear spirits, beings, other things, as if they're thoughts in your head. And you know that it's not you that's the one thinking that. It feels like a different thing. Some of you may hear songs that a spirit's trying to use as a message. Some of you may hear outside, okay? So there may be external, non-bodied things that are speaking. So that one happens a little more rarely for me, but when it does, I'm like, whoa, okay, because they'll kind of pick an ear and go pretty close into it, and it's an outer auditory, as well as ringing in the ear. So that is ascension symptoms, but the ring, and check with your doctor that you don't have tinnitus or anything like that, but if all is clear on your physical mechanism, that's an extrasensory perception. So you will hear sometimes ringing in the ear, one or the other. I always call those downloads. Okay, so that is your internal auditory. So that is clairaudience. Now we have clairaudience, which is clear smelling. So sometimes people will smell things that aren't there. So for instance, sometimes when I'm doing a mediumship reading, if someone was a smoker, I'll smell smoke, or I'll smell a perfume, or I'll smell something else that's clearly not in my environment, but it lets me know. So it's like there's been psychics and mediums who this is their main thing. They can smell like fire or something that happens in a reading that is a premonition. I also, medical mediums, so sometimes when I'm doing medical mediumship, something doesn't smell right in the person. So for instance, one of the people that I was working with was trying to pretend like they weren't on drugs, right? And I could smell that their pheromones weren't right. So they didn't smell like them. And I said, no, that's not, you don't smell like this, right? So I could smell down to the pheromones. So this is a very heightened sense of clear smelling that gives you information, right? So sometimes there's been medical mediums who can smell certain things or diseases, kind of like a dog or you know, other type of service animal, like because they have a heightened sense of smell, that has actually led doctors to be able to find what has been wrong with the individual, right? So sometimes those who have the clairaudience will be used for medical reasons to help medical professionals, right? So that is the next clair you could call, right? Next up is Clearcognizance, and this is clear knowing. So this is one of my my major ones. Is I just know. I don't know how I know, right? But the information's just there. It's almost like sometimes like a download, like where it feels like floop, information's in. It's clear knowing. So you don't know how you know. And sometimes this is, this information comes in where you have no idea, you haven't met a person, but you can know a lot about them or a lot about their other situations or even Akashic records or other stuff, and you don't know how you know that. The information's just there. So that's clear knowing or claircognizance. So very clear knowing, it's like just being able to tap in or tune in directly with the individual or situations, or sometimes like I've channeled information, like written channeled. So for some, that's how that comes through, and you just know things. So like some of the stuff that was channeled or described ended up being really scientific processes that I find out later are correct, are real, or I've used words in which I didn't know the meaning or what it meant, and I look up later and it's like a real meaning and a scientific process. So I kind of get an education after the fact, right? So that's claircognizance, is there's a clear knowing. I clearly hadn't studied those types of scientific or quantum physics types of things, but somehow I knew the names, the labels, what was needed for the next step for someone, right? So that is claircognizance. Next is clairgustance. I think you say that right. Gustance? Clairgustance. That is clear taste. So this will be someone who can psychically taste different things, right? So you might be having a conversation with someone, doing a reading, and all of a sudden you taste cotton candy, and you find out that, you know, the loved one that they're talking about loved cotton candy, or you taste an orange, or you taste whatever it might be, and then you're talking with the person, they're like, oh, well, I'm eating that right now, right? And so it's a type of clear taste that comes in your taste buds. You're not physically eating the cotton candy, the orange, the apple, whatever it might be, but you are tasting it, and you're tasting it from your intuitive faculties. And so that is that clair. The last one is the Clairsentience. Clairsentience is clear feeling. This also is one of my major ones. So my inputs come in typically Clairaudience, Clearcognizance, and Clairsentience are the three mains, though the others do show up. So Clairsentience is clear feeling. This is that gut feeling, right? We all have the gut feeling. We don't know why. We don't know how we know, but that gut will tell us absolutely not. And this clear feeling can be clear feeling in many other ways. So like when I do mediumship reads, a lot of times the spirits will come and show me how they passed. They don't often say it, they have me feel it, right? So I will feel in my body how they left, and then they try to use my words that I have to describe that, right? And so sometimes I don't know how to describe it, but I just tell people what I'm feeling. Right. There can be clear feeling as well for medical mediumship. So you can feel in the body where something's off. And sometimes it hasn't showed up on an x-ray, or it hasn't showed up on an EEG or whatever else. And the psychic or intuitive or medical medium that is stepping in and being utilized is helping the medical team through their clear feeling. So this is feelings and sensations. This is not emotions. This is feelings and sensations in the physical body, okay? And that is clairsentience. Empath would be the feeling part of it, but also the emotional part, right? And so it's a combination of different things which makes up emotion, because emotion's energy emotion. So those are the clairs and understanding the clairs. We have clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairaudience, okay? Clearcognizance, clairgustance, and clairsentience, right? One more time, clairvoyance is clear seeing. Clairaudience is clear hearing. Clairaudience is clear smelling. Claircognizance is clear knowing. We have clairgustance, or gustance, you guys tell me how to pronounce that. It's clear taste. And we have clairsentience, which is clear feeling. Okay, so hopefully that was a good overview for you guys. And so tap into your own intuitive faculties. You can make this a little bit of a game, right? Think of a time when you had a hunch that came correct, right? Like, I knew that so-and-so was gonna marry this person, or I knew that this person was going to win the lotto, or I saw the lotto numbers and I didn't play, but I was right. So feel into that, or when you've had an experience that you had an intuition, acted on it, and it turned out positively. So tune into that and go back in and ask yourself, okay, how did I know that? Did I see a picture? Did I hear something? Did I smell something or taste something? Did I just know, not without knowing how I knew? Or did I have a feeling in my body? And this lets you know how you have your inputs come in for correct and accurate psychic inputs. Right? So we don't focus on the ones, avoid focusing on any of the ones where it didn't work out, because we're looking at the strategy of when your intuition was on point. And this will let you know, and think of a few different times, and that will let you know the primary ways in which your psychic and spiritual inputs, extrasensory perception, comes in for you. Okay? Remember, we're all psychic, we all have our antennas, and it's just a matter of feeling into what is most natural to us. I spent years thinking that I was not intuitive, when that is actually my full-on life path. Okay? So I just wanted to share that just from my experience of not knowing and having misunderstood from the media, just to give you a little bit of knowledge here on explaining the clairs and allowing you to see and feel into what are your extrasensory perceptions? How do those come in for you? Let me know in the comments what your most frequently used extrasensory perception, which Claire is the one that you have experienced the most often, right? So, and what was your experience? So please let us know if there's any ways that certain things have come in for you that's in addition to what I have shared. Please share that, because we want everyone to feel confident in their own personal sovereignty and psychic ability. Okay, so thank you guys so much. For those of you who would like to enter the drawing, it's free to enter, free to win. Here's how you do it. You be a subscriber if you're not already, so subscribe, hit that bell button, like and share this video, and then in the comment section below, right, I am Claire in my receiving, right? So I am Claire, C-L-A-I-R, in my receiving. Kind of cute. It just lets me know that you want to enter the contest, and then I will do the drawing on the 1st of the month on video and announce the winner, and hopefully it is you. So until next time, aloha.